Welcome everybody to Fandom Nights, where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time.
One.
Today we're talking about Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Season 1, Episode 4, The Whole World is Watching. And then it'll cut to the intro. Intro.
1.
Alright guys, let's get into this. I'm Chris.
I'm Dustin.
Sherman.
And let's go through the synopsis, Dustin.
All right. Well, in this episode, guys, it gets away from your typical buddy cop kind of feel, because the first 3 episodes have kind of been funny, humorous, kind of just discovering where the story's going.
Yeah.
This one takes a little bit of a serious turn, and we see our group of Bucky, Sam, and a little bit. That's an understatement, that's for sure. Our main 3, Bucky, Sam, and Zemo, they're on their way to find Carly and find clues on where she could be. And then we see Carly and John Walker. We see a little bit their dark sides kind of come up in this episode too, so I guess we'll just kind of jump right in.
Yeah.
What'd you guys like about the episode overall?
Oh yeah, sorry, forgot about that part. My jaw was on the floor at the end. It hooked me from the very beginning with that super emotional scene. Like, good Lord, that guy deserves an award for that scene.
I know.
But
Mark Hamill better let him play Young Luke after that. He sees the range.
He didn't even have any words, but just conveyed so much. And so it hooked you.
He had two lines in that whole thing.
The whole episode was just all this crazy stuff, and then there's a good section in there where it was just a lot of action, and I'm like, this is really fun, but there's not a lot of things to talk about. There's cool action stuff, but then the end, I literally watched through the whole credits just with my jaw like in shock, thinking about the ramifications of all the stuff that happened. But what do you guys think?
I had a hard time watching this because, especially for getting ready for this episode, because I was I literally watched almost the whole thing, and then I'm like, crap, I need to take notes for this.
It's just so entertaining.
I was so focused. I'm like, what? No, what?
Yeah. Dustin, what did you think?
I thought it was obviously very surprising at the end, but the thing I really liked about this this episode, this episode was Zemo. I think he was just, his way of handling things are really extreme, but I just love how smart and just cold-blooded he is.
Yeah.
It just shows he's not your straight villain, but he's a side villain almost.
Right.
I don't know, just kind of like Carly.
It's tough because
after this episode, she's not the main bad person anymore.
It's the type of villain that makes you like the character though.
Thanos,
it makes you understand where he's coming from.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the things I want to put things you missed in this episode was I don't know. We'll get into it, but he's a father. His children died.
Yeah.
And so that scene where he's going and giving the kids Turkish delight and stuff. I'm like, this is just, it makes me feel weird, it makes my skin crawl a little bit, but then you think oh, he's just a dad who lost his kids, oh, man. Okay.
Up until that point,
before
that, I was like, he's either channeling his inner spy or
it's kind of
kidnapper, because it's kind of no, here's a bunch of candy kids.
I didn't like that scene. Oh, go ahead.
In any type of gang or organized crime thing, they use children and younger people as watchouts. Lookouts, so it's kind of a cool idea for Zemo to go up to kids and ask where everyone is, because no adult is clearly going to talk to them.
Yeah.
So when you offer kids candy, they do just about anything.
The Turkish delight,
which are apparently super gross.
I've had them before. They're okay.
Oh,
they're pretty good. You have to have the right ones. You have to have the real Turkish delight.
And it's weird seeing because as soon as he said that, my mind immediately went to that scene from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
That's what I was thinking too.
Where he's it's jelly, and he just eats out of this huge bite out of it. I'm like, these look like Jolly Ranchers almost.
Yeah, they're chewy. They're not.
I always thought the things from the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe were those cherry donut holes things. Or the raspberry donut holes.
Oh yeah.
So what do we want to talk about in the story? Should we just kind of go through?
We can kind of talk about anything you want, I guess.
Yeah. So there's a touching scene. Then the Winter Soldier talks to the Wakandans and you have 8 hours. So okay, this is gonna it's always interesting when they put a time limit on things in shows, and I think they did it well because you didn't feel like you were under a crunch. But okay,
should we talk about that first confrontation scene between John Walker and Bucky and Sam and all them when they meet on the street?
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny that John Walker is like take it easy before it gets weird. Because he's like all about like wanting to just start a scene, and he's like, dude, just cool it.
Yeah.
I love Anthony Mackie. He's just the funniest guy I've ever. I've watched so many like press tour videos of him and Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Just pure comedy. I love it.
I really appreciate this show and how it's going into like sort of political stuff, sort of like the whole like supremacist ideals thing. Like it really makes you think like, man, if you have superpowers, you inherently have supremacist ideals. Like it's the whole if you're better than someone, you quantifiably are better than other people, and these people didn't even realize it. So it just makes you think about all the ramifications of that. Like, man, superheroes are was it Zemo or one of them talking about how the Avengers, Nazis, and someone else were like all in the same group, and I'm like, whoa, that's a little extreme, but I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense from a certain point of view. Yeah.
I think Disney just inherited this from a certain point of view and just applied it to every story they're going from now on. You're just like, thank you, Star Wars.
I like when Falcon is like, hey, those are our friends you're talking about, and the Bucky's like, not the Nazis.
Not the Nazis, the Avengers.
Just to make it clear. Yeah. I'm like, someone in the studio is like, we gotta put a CYA in here.
Not the Nazis.
Yeah. Just so you know, it can't be misinterpreted. I spent a lot of time like looking at that graveyard scene when she was getting the serum. I wanted to say vaccine. When she was getting the serum, I'm like, oh, there's names on here, and I was trying to look up stuff that didn't lead
You didn't wait the 30 seconds till the guy was
I kept pausing it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this was my buddy from World War II.
This is my grandpa.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
But do you think he plays some kind of bigger role, maybe?
No, there's two minor superheroes in Marvel Comics called Lucas, and they're both women, but it says him in the descriptions. I don't know, they're super minor.
But they could be just gender swapped because that's what they did with Carly.
Maybe, but yeah. And then the other name was like Radzina Berkatskow, and the only thing that came up with that, there was a Carolina Berkatskow who was the actress who played Eric Lesher's mother. Like a little minor thing. So I'm like, I was really stretching, and I went down a rabbit hole, and it didn't lead anywhere.
Goodness.
I'm still so freaking used to WandaVision and all the just crazy little references. Yeah, but there's not as much in this. It's just a good story with a lot of like political stuff.
Really good
and
story.
mind-bending stuff. Yeah.
Especially with speaking of good story and being political, I loved the title of this episode, and I was waiting for like more cell phone stuff throughout the entire episode, because like at the beginning when they're just showing that like news clip, I'm like, okay, first of all, like I love the title because like especially with the whole Gina Carano thing like lately, like anything you do is like out in the open, like you can't like get away from like being in the public eye for anything really. But like that end when everybody's got their phones out, I was like,
it kind of threw me for a loop because when the title "The Whole World Is Watching," I'm like, oh man, everyone's going to know exactly what John Walker's doing. Everyone's going to know that Zemo is out of prison and then he's working with the U.S. government. Like, that's what I was thinking the whole world's watching. So, like, there was one scene where Sebastian Stan was, like, looking on his cell phone, and then he, like, said something about, oh, some people died or whatever. And I'm like,
GRC building?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I thought he was going to see a news article, like, we're exposed. They know that Zemo's out and he's working with us. But so I was, like, in my mind, like, making myself go down this other rabbit hole. And then when the end happened, I'm like, that's what it meant. The whole world's watching this part of it. Okay.
That's exactly what I thought the whole time when everybody's watching. I'm like, where, like you just said, where are the phones coming out?
Yeah.
So the whole ending could totally made sense for that line. But I expected more, I guess.
Well, I mean, it like Lamar kind of brought it up too, because like when they're when Anthony Mack or Sam was like, how'd you guys find us? Well, you can't have two Avengers just walking around the streets of Latvia without people noticing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you know that when they're in Latvia, it was confirmed that it's in the MCU that it's right next to Latveria or something, where Doctor Doom is from?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's confirmed that it's right next door.
I feel like an idiot now. I thought that Latvia was where Doctor Doom was from. So
Yeah,
I keep looking for like little doctors, but yeah, it's Latveria. It's a different country.
But it's apparently right next door to like.
Oh,
it's like touching neighboring countries with Latveria.
I know. Anytime we're in that country, I'm like looking in the background trying to see like some subtle reference to Doctor Doom, but I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe I missed it.
They will. Hopefully.
Well, in the last episode where they had those little ball things, I didn't realize they were Wakanda things. And I'm like,
are you really? I noticed.
I didn't think about it.
Thought about it as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh.
I totally forgot about what those were.
Yeah. So
what scene are we on now?
I'm just kind of going through my little things I noticed through this plot, but like the vials. Holy crap!
Like the vial scene.
Yeah,
like when he's breaking them.
Well,
or what?
The whole thing with the vials. I mean, she's for one, she's carrying them in a fanny pack the whole time.
But she puts them behind her. So
she does.
Yeah, because like before they leave the grave,
I thought she put
cemetery,
it in front of her, and that's what blocked the bullet.
No, so she's like making sure it was secure, and then she spins it around so it's underneath the coat.
But when Zemo shoots her, the vial and the fanny pack is on the table, and so when she goes and flips the table, that's when it flips onto the ground.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't have it personally on her when Zemo shot her.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. But man, Zemo sticks to his guns, man.
Literally,
when he held the vial in his hand, I'm like, is he gonna be a little bit of a hypocrite and like whatever you have to do to take it? But nope, he just smashes it and starts smashing. I'm like, we need to keep that because Sam has to be Captain America.
Yeah, I had no doubt in my mind that he was going to destroy them just because he's so anti.
I'm so glad that he did, and they didn't change the story. Like, he's gonna,
Well, I didn't see John Walker taking the vial.
I could totally see him.
I didn't see it coming in the story.
The whole time this episode, I was waiting for a time when like Sam would accidentally like, well, no, a needle fell into my arm or something like that.
I was expecting Sam to take the serum. Maybe not this episode.
I'm still kind of expecting it.
You thought Sam was?
In this whole series, I thought Sam would, for some reason, like he's got to save Bucky or something, so he takes the serum to like save the day,
or
and then
somehow it gets
reason
he gets knocked out, and then
I didn't see John Walker getting the serum in this show.
Yeah,
because he didn't get the serum in the comics, did he?
He's a super soldier. He got his powers from the Power Broker in the comics.
So I mean,
before he was a U.S. agent. Because when he was
I think he got his powers when he got. I think so.
Okay, I don't know.
From what I read, he got his powers from the Power Broker. Then he's like, I'm a superhero now. I'm going to make my debut. I'm going to be U.S. agent. And then he hired a bunch of goons to like go do a fake fight. So he did this fake fight, and then everyone's like, wow, he's an amazing superhero. So like that's how he got his start.
Okay.
From what I understand, I might be missing something.
He's the Booster Gold of MC.
Exactly. He's
Marvel
like,
Universe.
So John Walker and Lamar are talking about how the 3 Medal of Honors that he got for that day was the worst day of his life.
Yeah.
What do you think that day entailed? Maybe something similar to this, where he staged something and something went wrong and innocent lives got killed, or?
I think that was who knows exactly what it was, but I think
we've got 2 episodes left. We might get a
flashback.
That'd be.
I think from interviews I've watched and other things, like any soldier will tell you that any Medal of Honor, any medal that they get, they don't feel like they deserve it. It was the worst day of their life, no matter what. Like they don't want the honor, but it was like given to them anyways because other people want to give it to them. Like it's hard accepting gifts, and like I feel like I don't know from experience, but from interviews I've heard, a lot of soldiers would say that same type of thing. Like if I have a Medal of Honor, my friends died. I don't care about a freaking medal. Like it was the worst day of my life because all my friends died. So like I think that's what was going through his head. Maybe not his friends. I don't know what exactly happened in this situation, but
right. I definitely do think John's ego is taking just enormous hits this episode too.
Yeah,
just like getting beat up by the girls.
They weren't even
Wakanda.
super soldiers.
I know.
I felt that line, man. Like he was.
As soon as he said that, though, I'm like, okay, something's coming bad next.
Right?
I'm the best warrior in our country or whatever, and I did all this. I'm Captain America, and they weren't even super soldiers. How am I supposed to fight these super soldiers that I'm sent here to get? If I can't take down a couple,
I'm getting beat with switches the whole time.
I'm getting beat with spears, and these other guys have guns and bombs.
Granted, I don't think he knows they're vibranium spears, but still.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he doesn't care enough to even.
Yeah,
look
which is weird because his shield is not made out of vibranium.
It's
a different. Well, I guess we don't know, but it's.
I would assume it's the same shield that it's made of the same stuff that Captain America had in his original shield. I would assume, but
I don't know because
there was times when knives are like making sparks on it and doing all the normal vibranium stuff. He blasts through doors and stuff like Captain America. I don't know. Maybe not.
I know, but there's other strong metals in the MCU because it looked differently than his original shield. The shield he gives Sam is different than his original shield.
Maybe
the design is different than that.
Okay. Well, not just that, but like the shield that Cap wears, I mean, gets broken by Thanos.
Right. So
when he goes back in time, he somehow makes a shield, and who knows?
All I know is that the shield is different from the original.
Yeah.
As far as like slight designs on it.
I don't know.
Next thing is that I put serum talks. There was just a lot of talks about like John Walker, like would you take the serum? Like John Walker's asking his buddy, like instead of hey, should I? He's asking his buddy, would you? You know, it kind of
Hells yeah, I would.
Would you?
Oh no, that's what Lamar says.
Yeah.
But,
would you take the serum?
Probably not.
You wouldn't? Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. If I saw that like all these other people have it, and like it just makes you more yourself. And I don't know.
I just want power.
I guess I would then.
I was hoping that John Walker was taking it. I knew he wasn't, but I was hoping he was taking it, putting it in his pocket. Like, you obviously got to take it. You're not going to just let it go to waste or whatever. But like, I thought he was going to. I was hoping he would take it and then bring it back to the U.S. and like they could analyze it and whatever. But
oh no, we're seeing the selfish immaturity of John Walker.
See, and I kind of picked up on that because like if you look at him like. From his introduction at the end of episode 1, and then like seeing him on stage in episode 2, the more this show progresses, you see like his mental stability break down, and like he looks more and more like a normal soldier.
Does this, like head cock thing.
I would say
he's got ticks, man.
I would say, do you see the head tilts he constantly does?
Yeah,
he
constantly
seems like an actual soldier who's going through PTSD,
for sure.
And he's in the worst possible spot to be.
And that's when he takes the serum, he's like talking about the worst day ever and all this stuff. And I wonder if like obviously PTSD is a big part of his life.
Yeah.
So when he takes the serum, it becomes even more like engrossed in his mental state and all this stuff. You know.
Let's say it doesn't just project who you are overall. Let's say it projects who you are at that time. So like when Steve Rogers got it, he had the biggest heart, and obviously it made him better. There's no other Steve Rogers. In this time, when John Walker takes it, he is so full of rage from what they just did to Lamar. Right. Because at this point, he thinks Lamar is unconscious.
He didn't take it just then. He took it like the night before. Cause
he did not.
That whole fight, he had superpowers going up.
Yeah, because when he was going up the stairs, that's when he bends
that was before Lamar died. Like, he bent the thing.
No, I'm not saying when Lamar dies. I'm saying when he gets taken.
Yeah.
In between that moment and the next moment we see him, when he kicks the person down the stairs. Or I should say, when he throws the shield through the wall.
I think he went into this building having taken it.
That's how I saw it. Because I mean, it would take a lot out of you. Like, he probably took it that night before, after that conversation in the mall with Lamar. He probably went to sleep and like, all right, take this now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how I read it, but it could be either way, I guess.
I wish they would have showed a little more. I wish they would have showed a little more of when he took it.
Yeah.
Give more clarification. Because the first time you see on camera of him, an indication of him taking it is when he throws the shield into the wall.
Right.
When he breaks through. Because right when Lamar gets taken, he breaks through that door and is looking around.
Yeah.
And then the next scene we see, he throws the shield into the wall.
When Falcon's like, what did you do? And he's like, Lamar's taken. And both of them just like, okay, we'll deal with whatever is happening over here in a minute.
Back burner, I guess?
Yeah, I guess we're putting this on the back burner.
Yeah, that was just crazy.
Yeah. So, should we talk about the end scene? I mean, Lamar dies.
Yeah, we got Lamar dying. Oh, how about Bucky's arm? When he
that was crazy.
Deactivates the arm.
I was so happy when he put it back on. I'm like, are you not going to have your arm anymore? But he just like powered it back.
I liked that. Like, yeah, you saw like the actual like vibranium or whatever.
It almost looked like that robot from Thor, the original.
Oh,
Thor.
the
like,
Obliterator.
Like the metal kind of like does that fan thing when he put it on. It was kind of cool. But
I just like that even though he didn't have a weapon, he was disarmed. I literally wrote down. I was like, that disarming.
Speaking of the arm, so Captain America always carries the vibranium shield.
Mm-hmm.
He has a vibranium arm. Would you rather have a shield and be a super soldier, or an arm and be a super soldier?
An arm.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too.
An arm can be your shield.
Right, exactly. He uses it very well.
When you have precision, you can block bullets.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I guess
you can. I wrote down like a question like, oh, how come normal soldiers don't always carry shields? Because there's that one scene where Captain America's like holding his gun, and I'm like, oh, you're completely blocked. You don't have to. It just seems like a good idea, but then you lose use of your arm. So if you had a vibranium arm, you'd be able to do stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like having Bucky having like the super soldier serum, like having a vibranium arm though, I'd like, is that this gonna have like the same strength as like a souped up arm?
I think his vibranium arm has more strength because it's indestructible and he can do whatever he wants. But
I think he has the same. Well, that's hard to say. I don't want to say he has more power behind the arm
because like you can work that out.
Vibranium is all about absorbing contact and then I guess pushing it back out. I guess, but at the same time, the super soldier serum is just straight up giving you super strength.
Yeah, you can get that arm even more jacked.
Yeah,
I think if he uses his momentum from his body with
seems like whenever he's fighting, he always hits with the vibranium arm, which I guess you would because it's a blunt.
I don't know this episode, the last one when they were in that bar, like it seems like he's using his normal arm like way more, and like using the vibranium one because it like he doesn't have to worry about like it moving on accident. I guess to like hold people.
I just thought of something funny. Like, wouldn't it be funny if when the arm fell off, you just see Rabbit come in, or I mean, Rocket just come in. He's like, "Told you I was gonna get that arm." And just leave.
I saw a comment online, and they're like, "Oh, make sure that this person doesn't find out about the fail-safe thing." Yeah. And then the other person below that was like, "Or Rocket." And I'm like, "Yeah, if Rocket knew about that," and beep 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 beep,
mine
falls off.
How much for the?
I'm gonna get that arm.
Yeah. So let's talk about this crazy end scene. Holy crap!
So there was something that Zemo said about superheroes and like the blood on their hands and stuff like that. Like superheroes will never know about having blood on their hands or something like that, or never understand.
Heroes can't keep their hands clean.
Yeah.
Or nowadays, the one, I think he was that character. He said like heroes these days we can't.
Oh, that was during the graveyard thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cemetery technically.
I just thought that kind of foreshadowed a little bit of this ending scene.
So that ending scene, the people who are watching this happen, they just know it's Captain America killing a guy. Like the general public
decapitating a dude.
Do you think that he was decapitated?
I don't think he was decapitated.
He was hitting him in the chest, I thought, but either way.
I think he hit him in the chest, and then once we see him going like this, and the amount of blood, it's decapitation.
Yeah.
If he would have just went through the chest, they would have showed him or something.
I was really hoping when he went back,
split something in half.
That he would have kind of like thought about it and like, okay, but nope, they just went full on the boys.
He went murder.
That's why I think it's decapitation, is because the whole scene with Zemo of just point blank just shooting her and walking towards her and just no remorse, just I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, they
just kind of built that momentum up, and so I think decapitation is what happened there.
So, personally. But the crowd themselves don't know who that person is. They might know that he's a terrorist, but they don't know he's super powered. He's not wearing his mask at the time, so he's not
part of the
immediately associated with that. They just see Captain America bust out of the building and decapitate a guy. So it looks like he just killed an innocent person, and he kind of in some way was innocent, because if anything, he's just guilty by association, because Carly's the one who's doing all the stuff,
and Carly's the actual one who hit Lamar and killed him.
Right. So like, that guy didn't kill anyone. That guy isn't like setting off the bombs. He's even like,
he's the one who's
what are you doing? This. Yeah, and Carly's like, he's like, there's people in there. Well, whatever, they deserved it. So he's like the good guy in the group, and which made it even better. And then the crazy part is that guy was the Captain America fan.
So I want to ask you guys, with the look that was on John Walker's face at the end of that, like when everybody was like just recording him, do you think he looked like he had any remorse in his?
No.
Or he's okay with the world seeing him?
He is okay with what
I think he's just like I don't think he likes that it happened, but he's like, well, it had to happen. Like,
this is what it came to.
Right, this is what it came to. I'm a soldier.
He's probably already thinking of like how to spin this in PR.
In that moment, I
don't think he's thinking about that. In that moment, I think he just got done, in my opinion, decapitating a dude, and the whole world's filming him. I think he's thinking like, I guess I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think he's thinking along the lines of just, I'm okay with this, and this is what Captain America does now.
There are casualties in war.
Yeah.
Right.
This is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think he thinks is like, yeah, this is just another battle.
He's used to being a soldier. He's not used to being Captain America yet. And Captain America is more like, it's not just the fighting. You have to do the fighting correctly. And that's the cool thing about this episode.
Yeah, he would never have killed somebody.
That's the cool thing about this episode in particular, though. They're talking about, like, there's sides, there's battles in life, there's all this crazy stuff. But what Sam's trying to get at and what, some other characters are trying to get at is you have to fight in the right way. Like, sometimes the ends, you can say the ends justify the means, whatever. You have to fight dirty. Heroes can't have their hands clean. But you can't do that. Like, we can't compromise that. Like, and I think that's what this show is trying to say. Like, even with, like, the election and all the crazy stuff that happened, like, we can fight each other, but we have to do it in the right way. We can't just we can't get our hands dirty trying to beat the other side down or something like that. And, like, man, John Walker got his hands dirty, and he tarnished the symbol. Like, I don't know how.
Dude, when he put that shield back on, and it's just covered in blood on the bottom.
Another reason I think is decapitation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but, like, just spearing through someone's chest is not going to create that much blood. Well, when you cut someone's head off, a lot of blood.
Maybe. I mean, he could be going right into, like, the chest, like, heart.
Well, and Captain America has, Steve Rogers did both things. He decapitated an Ultron robot with the shield, like, just took the head off that way. And then when he was fighting Tony, he came down and, like, was hitting his chest thing. And, like, this scene showed me that, man, Captain America could have totally killed Tony in that moment if he wanted to. He was just being merciful in that moment in Civil War,
Well, Tony wasn't relying on the thing to keep him alive anymore at that point, though.
No, I'm saying, like, he could have gone through and killed Tony. Anyways, that's a minor thing, but I don't know. That's just...
I don't think... Yeah, but there's a difference between Steve and John, obviously, is that Steve never wanted to kill anyone. Yeah. Even when he was fighting against Tony. He just wanted to stop him so that they could get away.
Yeah.
I think the only person Steve ever wanted to kill was Thanos.
Yeah. Or Red Skull, maybe.
So that's kind of the story. I've kind of already covered some of the things that I saw that I might have missed, but the one cool thing that I really liked, like, production wise, of this episode was John Walker's, like, acting and, like,
oh my gosh,
the fact that he's like clean shaven all the time, and then in this episode he, like, stops shaving, he gets more ticks, and it's like, whoa, you can tell he's, like, slipping just by how he looks.
You can see the stubble in, like, the past episode.
Oh, can you?
In the last episode, yeah, but, like, this one you can see he's just kind of given up.
Yeah, right. He's just unfocused and he doesn't know what he's doing.
when I saw the scene where they're, like, sitting in, like, a mall or whatever having like coffee, I was almost expecting him to have, like, some, like, crappy, like, veterans jacket on, like, just full on. I'm a traumatized veteran here.
Yeah. You got anything else about the plot, or should we just start some speculation here?
I think Carly, her message is a justifiable reason to want things the way that she wants them to be, but like Sam says, the way she's doing it is not the right way.
Right.
I think the whole one world, one people, like everyone coming together and uniting to help each other, that's a great goal to have for the world, but the way she's trying to obtain that again is not the right way.
Yeah, I like that scene in the funeral where she says, like, struggle brings us together. And we're one world, one people, so live accordingly. And it's like, that's an inspiring message. That's a good message that she has. She's just, like you said, going about it she's killing innocent people to do that. And it's like, you just can't do that and be the symbol that you want to be. Like, she's almost trying to be Captain America of this movement, but she can't be that because she's getting her hands bloody like Captain America literally did. It's like, both sides of this are so good.
See, this is why I think this episode has a big shift in who the main villain is, because obviously I don't think Carly's and the Flag Smashers are the villain now.
No,
it's John Walker.
Oh yeah,
like he's gonna be the person that Sam and Bucky have to defeat in the end.
There's almost like 3 sides at this point. 4.
We have Sam and Bucky. We have John Walker, Carly and the Flag Smashers, and the Power Broker.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's the whole, like,
which
underworld.
I'm excited to see who that's gonna be.
I have a theory for that. So speculations here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But
the actual evil in the world that everyone's going to have to unite to fight, hopefully. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
The only other thing of the things you missed, that whole Zemo scene where he's, like, going up to the kids, he's singing Black Sheep. And I'm like, man, it's almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing type thing, and I don't know. It just, like I said, that scene went from creepy to like heartwarming and sad.
I never
to me.
took it as creepy at all.
Just like a guy going up and giving candy to kids. I don't
See
know.
it, but for me, I already knew what he was doing.
Right.
So
yeah.
it didn't seem creepy to me.
All right, let's talk about some speculation on this thing. So,
well, I have a theory for who the power broker is.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Who do you think it is?
It's Sharon. Hear me out. Hear me out. So
the reason I'm quiet right now is I'm like, that's a
just hear me
good
out.
idea.
So in the last episode, we see her get into a car and she has a driver and assistants.
Right.
Only people of power have that. Okay. Now in this episode, she walks past at least 10 people of armed guards. No problem. Just letting her walk through.
Yeah, I was wondering what the heck was going on with that.
Especially because, like, in the last episode, she beats the crap out of, like, a dozen guys easily.
Right.
Why would the power broker give a reward to kill all these guys, but then she's the power broker and she, like, went and fought the people that she's giving a reward to? Like,
I think she's trying to keep Sam and Bucky and them in the dark about who she is.
But she was out there fighting those people, and if she didn't, like, call them on the radio all the time, they wouldn't know that she's out there fighting for them. So
I think she's trying to get closer to Carly. Because she thinks that, if she is the power broker, that would be the smartest move, because then you'd be able to get closer to the person who... But
has the
in
serum.
your like, thought process, still has the serum that you're...
Do you think there's only a certain... Like, maybe only certain people in her organization know her face?
Maybe.
It's a typical way for them.
I know this whole time I'm, like, waiting for the reveal of who the power broker is. I've thought the whole time that it's someone that we've never seen, but that's a pretty good theory.
And
I like that theory.
Another reason... No, I have one more thing, Sarah, on that. Add to that. She has resentment for superheroes. She thinks that superheroes are just icons. They're stupid and pointless. So, and the Avengers never came back to help her.
That is a heartbreaking thing of her
So
character.
she creates the super soldier serum to maybe either get back at the Avengers or to equal the playing field for herself.
Wonder if she is a super soldier, because, like, she took all those people out pretty. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe
but I mean, like, on the superhero side, like, it's kind of tough when, like, by the end of everything, because Civil War happens. Like, then they're on the run for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Infinity War, Endgame, all happens, like, simultaneously.
Yeah.
But I guess during those 5 years where Cap's still alive,
he could have went after her.
He could have went and, like, helped her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought that it was sad about Sharon's story, because, like, they almost had a little budding romance, and then all this other crazy stuff happened, and he just went back to...
I know, Cap got to kiss her. She seems way hotter in this, by the way, than, like, Civil War. And I'm just saying that.
Dude, the way she fights.
Oh my god. So that you think it's Sharon, huh?
I do.
I just had a question about the serum. So Zemo goes and smashes all those things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just on the floor. Like, there's scientists. There's always, like, get a broom, put it, like, the goop is in, the water is still in the broom. Like, get the glass out of it, you know, under a microscope, do whatever, and you have...
these flag smashers have all the equipment on hand to obtain this?
You don't have a broom and a dustpan to...
Well, I would think more of, like, the U.S. military.
If I took
like, you think, like, the new Captain Battlestar rolling up by themselves?
There was no time to alert people in this.
I know. I'm just saying, like, if I took a glass and smashed it on the ground, and there's a bunch of milk on the ground, if I want to collect it, you could get a good amount. There's, like, 6 vials. You could get 1 vial's worth out of all that stuff on the ground. I don't know. It was just weird to me. I understand that it's destroyed, all that stuff, but I don't know. It's a pretty valuable thing. It's the only super soldier serum
I mean, yeah,
in the world.
Super valuable thing.
Like, and you just... Okay, whatever. I don't know. They probably didn't even notice it, honestly, because they came into the room like, what happened? And then they all left because it's just happening so fast. But in my head, I'm like, okay, you got to go back and sweep that up. So my hope is that the start of this next episode is like a team going,
yeah, right,
getting the stuff off the floor.
I think that's all we got, or at least that's all I got. Sherman, you got anything?
I don't really have anything else. I thought it was kind of cool that, like, Mama Danya, like, her little, like, symbol thing that they had, or, like, her, like, necklace or whatever, was the flag smasher symbol.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was a little, like, palm like this with a little world
That's where
symbol.
they got it from.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Well, I think that's all we got for this episode of Fandom Nights. If you want to be a Fandom Night, join us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and I did the Facebook. And then subscribe, comment.
Let us know your theories about this show.
Let us know your theories, but more specifically, before we say goodbye here. So a stranger walks up to you in a trench coat with some candy. Do you take it?
If it's Turkish delight.
Also, I mean, like, he doesn't look like a kidnapper, or like
He's
a pedophile.
stranger. Anyways.
They're in a refugee camp.
That, and they're in a state of the world where strangers coming together to help is not super uncommon anymore.
It was supposed to
They're
be a
literally
joke.
in a
You're
camp
taking it
where
way too literally.
they're literally in a
kill jokes.
They're literally in a camp where strangers help them.
Okay, I gotta pee, so.